So welcome to a final Breathe class of 2022. I said that last week and realised I was teaching today. So this is definitely the last one of 2022. I hope for those of you who celebrate Christmas, you had a good festive time. I'm in London, North London. That's why it all looks a bit different. I'm in my sister's house with a lovely tree behind me. I was listening to a podcast yesterday and I loved this description. And I hope maybe it resonates a little bit. At this time of year, we can either be listening to Stressed FM radio station or Calm FM. So I hope over these last few days, you've had a bit of Calm FM in your life. But today we're definitely going to come into this calm rest and digest side of the nervous system. And I was reading a really recent research paper that was sent to me yesterday. Yeah, that's how boring I am, about this breathing technique. And I've adapted it slightly for today's class. We're going to be using a little bit of sound and humming breath today with different vowel sounds. Really welcome to be lying down. I know some of you cozy on sofas and beds already. Really welcome to be seated instead. I'm going to come back to my mat. Oh, let's let that last person in there and turn my volume down. And this is my funny old mat that I leave in the very first yoga mat. It's covered in claws from my first cat scratching it. So if you're coming to lying down, making sure that your head is level with your heart. So I've got a cushion here simply to demonstrate. So making sure head is level, if not a little bit higher, and you'll hopefully know if you need to be propped up a little bit more. I often say coming to semi-supine here, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. That allows our deeper abdominal muscles, our lower back, to find rest, but also that allows the diaphragm to move more freely, so our breathing muscles a bit more freely. Or if you prefer to have your legs extended, you might like to have something under your knees. And really, again, just to ensure this whole area feels rested and restful so that the diaphragm can move freely. I'm going to guide today's session seated, and for those of you coming to seated shape, I know I say this every week, but just as a reminder, and for those of you who are new today, making sure that your hips, these frontal hip bones here, are level with or higher than your knees. And that is purely to ensure the diaphragm can move freely as well. So if the knees are up high, our breathing muscle gets stuck here, can't move freely. I'm going to use a couple of cushions to prop up my knees here, a little bit more comfort. So making sure you find a comfortable seated position. You might well be on a chair, you might be on a sofa, but just making sure these hips are level with or higher than your knees. And I know I haven't done very much movement over the last few days, so I thought we'd take a few minutes to take some movement through the head and neck, very gentle, very slow. You're really welcome not to do the movement. Do what feels right for you as we come through this session today, but hopefully a little bit of softness and release in the neck and shoulders so that it brings a sense of ease to our breath as well. So as we often do, beginning with a little bit of a mouth stretch, you might like to open your mouth and stick your tongue out. Strongest muscle in the body, stretching the tongue out, and then you could roll your tongue around the inside of your mouth if you'd like to. So pushing your tongue into one cheek, stretching these lower facial muscles here in the jaw area, and then maybe rolling the tongue around behind the upper, the lower lip, and then over to the other cheek. And you could take a bit of time to do this, a few rounds here. Releasing our jaw, because we know if our jaw is tight, our teeth are clenched, then actually that tightens the diaphragm, all connected. So releasing through the jaw area to begin with. We'll take a little bit of soft and very slow, gentle movement through the head and the neck. So we're going to begin to turn our heads towards the right-hand side. For those lying down, hopefully you just can turn your head gently towards the right-hand side, going as far as you feel comfortable. And then when you're ready, beginning to turn your head towards your left-hand side. Don't worry if you've gone the other way, you might be following me. I'm not mirroring today. We're going to be doing everything on each side. Eventually bringing your head back to center. And then if you'd like to, tucking your chin towards your chest. Hopefully this is possible for those lying down. Keeping the back of your head on the surface that you are lying on if you're lying down. So the back of the head is still very much supported. It's a little tuck of the chin towards the chest. And then we're gently rolling our head towards the right-hand side, keeping the tuck of the chin. So for those lying down, you still have your head supported. Trying to reach slightly different muscles, trying to reach the secondary respiratory muscles. So these muscles that should be doing a little bit of work when it comes to breathing, but not all of the work. And these are the muscles that sometimes take over, get tight, get sore, if we have been shallow upper chest breathing or mouth breathing. In your own time, if you're taking this movement, coming back to center really slowly, really gently. And then gently taking your head to the other side. So the chin is still tucked. For those lying down, the back of the head is still supported. And we're just coming to as far as feels comfortable for us. We'll all have a different range of movement. In your own time, beginning to ease back to center, very slowly, finding the head back to center. And for this round, we're lifting the chin. So if you are sitting upright, it's almost as if you're trying to look towards the ceiling, trying not to throw the head back, a gentle look upwards. So you might feel a bit of a sensation in the throat area. For those lying down, it's a lift of the chin, but the back of the head is still resting on the surface you are lying on. And then when you're ready, maintaining that gentle lift of the chin and turning your head towards the right-hand side. When you're ready, coming back to center. Maintaining the gentle lift of the chin if that feels possible, and easing over to the other side. So very gently encouraging a little bit more mobility through the cervical spine, which is basically the neck. Creating a little bit more space in the jaw area, the neck area for the breath. And hopefully easing any tension or tightness. When you're ready, bringing your head back to center. Eyes gaze back to center. And then for those who are seated, you might like to take a few shoulder rolls, a few in opposite directions. For those lying down, you could do a couple of shoulder shrugs. You could lift the shoulders off the floor for a moment, drop them down. You could even push your shoulders into the surface you're lying on and let go. So just a little bit of movement, if that feels possible, through your shoulders. And maybe you soften your gaze at this point or close your eyes. Beginning to breathe in and out through your nose. So a gentle seal of your lips. Hopefully there's a little bit of softening that's occurred through that gentle movement to begin with today. And in your own time, beginning to direct your breath a little lower. So, as we often do, if it's helpful to use a hand to guide your breath, please do take a hand or both hands to the solar plexus region. So we often call this the solar plexus. the hara in the east, the center of our body. So it's above the belly button, above the belly, sort of at the base of the rib cage. And if I have my two hands here, my thumbs, my first finger, can almost feel the last two ribs there as they curve down. And my hands are flared slightly, simply so I can begin to feel the breath moving with the rib cage. So we're breathing in, beginning to feel the breath, our inhalation reach our hands. And also a sense of our rib cage expanding in all directions. So our breath is traveling down low to reach the lowest parts of our lungs, but also it's traveling deep. So the expansion and flowing of the rib cage signifies that our diaphragm is switched on. So as we breathe in, we can feel the rib cage expand upwards and outwards at the front, the sides, the back of the body. And as we breathe out, we can feel that soft retreat back. So welcome to use the hands, even if it's just for a breath, to check everything's working well, perhaps. You don't need to, or maybe simply just quite tired today. Beginning to feel the breath traveling low and deep. And this might be where you stay today. This might be just enough, encouraging a slightly deeper, slightly slower breathing rhythm. If you begin to feel any tension creeping into your jaw area, you can take a simple mouth stretch again. Wiggle the tongue, perhaps bring a soft smile to your face. When we smile, our jaw relaxes. Well, now we're going to begin to make some sounds with our breath. So for those who would like to join in this section, first sound is ah. So I will demonstrate 1 or 2 rounds so you get a sense of what it may sound a little like, breathing in through the nose. And then out through the mouth. So that ah sound is on the exhalation, breathing into the nose, ah through the mouth. Your sound could be a lot shorter, could be a lot longer than mine, working with your rhythm. I'm going to stay quiet at this point so I don't distract you, working with the sound as best you can today. If you need to pause, you need to take a break, please do, listening to your body and how you are doing today. We're going to be here for about another minute. And making this final breath your last round here. And in these few moments before we work with a slightly different sound, nurturing this deep, low inhalation. And maybe checking in with your jaw. And the next sound for those who would like to join is ooh. So we're breathing in through the nose. So I'm pursing the lips, sometimes called a beak, crow's beak shape. Again, listening to your body. 1, 2 rounds might be enough. You might like to take this for another 2 minutes, like we did with the first sound, making sure you pause, you rest when needed, and knowing that the sound that you do make could be higher. You might like to play with your pitch a little bit, the sound that you make, but it's also likely to be very different in length to mine. So making sure you are working and you're not gasping for breath. You're ending the sound when there's a need arising to take an inhalation. I'm going to be here for about another minute. Taking one final breath here, working with this sound. And in your own time, coming back to simply breathing in and out through your nose. Reminding your jaw to remain soft. And the final sound we're going to create is an sound for those who would like to join for one last final sound. So breathing in through the nose. So for those who've practiced humming breath, perhaps more like the traditional humming breath. Lips gently sealed. You might find a little bit of tingling and vibrations in the lips. But finding your rhythm here. Listening to your body's needs, so pausing or resting if it's asking you to. We're going to be here for about another minute, practicing this sound. Making this your final round if you're still practicing the humming breath. Eventually coming to a quiet, soft inhalation and exhalation through your nose. Then one final possibility for those who would like to join in. If you feel you'd like to, we're going to begin to make those three sounds together, taking no more than 6 breaths. Welcome even just to take one and give it a go. So breathing in through the nose. So the the oo, and the coming together. Likely to be much shorter, much longer than mine. Finding a rhythm if you would like to practice this, and counting no more than 6 rounds. When you've taken the number of rounds you've chosen, you're working with, coming back to your nasal breath, inviting your jaw to remain soft. Perhaps noticing how you're doing in this moment. So we know that humming breath is very calming. It brings us into the rest and digest side of the nervous system, as does any chanting or singing. So we're working with the vagus nerve and vagal tone, helping to naturally extend our exhalation. So making our exhalation a little bit longer, which we know is the parasympathetic side, the rest and digest side of our nervous system. Well, it's been shown to lower blood pressure, support a better oxygen uptake, and increase heart rate variability. If you have had your eyes closed when you're lying down or seated, you may like to gently bring your hands together and bring some warmth to your palms. Placing your hands gently over the eyes, allowing your eyelids to absorb the warmth of your palms. Beginning to slowly open your eyes and eventually remove the hands, coming back into your day, into the room you're in. And as most weeks, I'm really happy to answer any questions today. Just going to actually stop the recording there. Stop that. There we go.